Welcome back! We're standing outside the entrance to the Sand People territory, and before we go inside, I'm going to use the clothes that we gathered off these Sand People that we had to kill here in order to disguise ourselves. Of course, we're not going to disguise HK-47 since he's a droid.
What?
So let's go ahead and do that. Wait a second, it's in the equip screen. What was I thinking? Sand People clothing give us a max dexterity bonus of +8. These are the intricate robes of a Sand People warrior. They seem to be in good condition and might allow a wearer to superficially appear to be a member of the Sand People species. Now, you're probably wondering what would happen if we went elsewhere with this stuff. If you wear Sand People clothing elsewhere in the deserts, the miners will attack you on sight. Also, you cannot wear them inside Anchorhead. It's impossible, and I think anywhere else in the game you cannot put this on. But we can do so here. And we totally look ridiculous with that.
Yes?
I'm sure the Sand People will totally buy the fact that we're one of them with lightsabers. Although, supposing that they are using the Zerka weapons, I guess it's not too much of a stretch to assume that they'll take any weapons that they can find. So let's go ahead and move forward.
What can I do?
To get rid of these mines, though, and our awareness is not as high as Bastil is, so let's go ahead and use her for a minute.
I can't.
But she can't.
Acknowledgement.
Can HK do it? Whoa, whoa. Didn't mean for that to happen. I'm not sure if I've upgraded any, or put any demolition points. Okay, apparently I have.
Sure.
I'm here.
I can't keep track of how many points I put where. We got more.
I can't.
Acknowledgement.
Well, let's try HK again. Let me try recovering one. I guess we can't.
Sure.
Yes?
We'll use Bastil just in case there's more mines. And it looks like we have found the camp where the Sand People are taking up residence. I'll just go ahead and disable this for fun.
I can't.
I keep forgetting Bastil can't. For some reason, I have myself convinced that I've put all these demolition points into her character build.
What can I do?
Now, if you try to get too close to one of the Sand People, they will recognize that you are disguised and they will try to kill you, so I'm not going to try doing that. Additionally, if you tried coming here without being disguised and didn't pay attention to what the Zerka people were, or not the Zerka people, but that conservationist was saying, then these turrets right here will attack you, and you will instantly die. Not only you, but everybody in your party, so it will be an instant game over. So you absolutely have to disguise yourselves just to get in. Well, hopefully this will work. There's a guard here. Looks like we have no choice but to get past him. This Sand People warrior has obviously recognized you and is astounded that you are here. Your disguise may have allowed you to pass the turrets outside, but it is ineffective at close range.
Interjection. One moment. I believe I understood that, Master. It may not have been his intention, but he did actually communicate something.
Well, let's make sure we tell him that we're not intending to kill them.
Translation.
HK is over there.
Result. I believe I have succeeded in confusing him, Master. We have shown an interest not common among outsiders.
Dude, you're confusing me with the way your head's turned.
Translation. Translation. He is expressing disbelief, as am I, but his duty requires that he report to his chieftain. Extrapolation. It would seem that we are at least worthy of curiosity for the moment. I would much rather this get bloody, Master, but it is your call.
No need for that. Though you can't seem to understand him, the Sand People Chieftain's tone is obvious. He clearly despises all outsiders.
Translation. I can translate with some guarantee of accuracy that he is demanding to know why he should let us survive this encounter, Master.
Well, we're not like all the other outsiders out there. If they're trying to say that Zerka represents everybody who's not one of the Sand People, then that is not right. And unlike them, we want peace.
Translation. Translation. He claims he has no reason to believe you, Master. Your kind have tainted this land with machines and uncaring, ignorant feet. Translation. He requires proof of good faith. We must make a contribution to his people that shows we are not a threat. Shall I blast him now, Master?
Well, let's find out what it is that he wants. And besides, I like my feet. They're awesome.
Translation. Translation. He plans to move his people farther from Anchorhead, but they need to build up stores of water first. He says you must aid him. Translation. He wants moisture evaporators from the Zerka. If you deliver them, he will order that his people reduce their attacks on miners.
I'm tempted to go with this second option, but I don't want to upset him.
Translation. Translation. He does not believe you, Master. We will only be allowed to re-enter the Enclave when we have the evaporators with us. Translation. We are to be escorted outside. He will wait, but he doesn't believe we are coming back.
Alright. Well, we've got our work cut out for us, and it looks like we've got our clothes taken off us as well. Let's go ahead and remedy that. We can put our robes back on now. And have I... No, actually, I haven't really given HK a whole lot. Oh wait, I haven't even given him the gun I was going to use for him. Silly me, okay. I knew something was off, I just knew I was forgetting something. And we've been doing pretty well.
Yes?
Wow, I truly am very forgetful. This trip out here to Tatooine has been kind of a little bit filled with forgetfulness, but hopefully from now on we'll be able to proceed smoothly without any issues. We can try talking to the other Sand People, but it's not really going to do much good. This Sand People warrior ignores you. It seems your presence here is a barely tolerated event. Well, I can understand that, but at least it's not killing us that he's going to do, so that's good. I thought there was a corpse around here. Yes, there is. Twi'lek corpse. With a thermal detonator. Hello. Now, you might be wondering if this corpse belongs to Griff, Mission's brother, but it thankfully does not, which is good. And there's another set of sand spires over there. So let's see what that's about. And there's also another mine over here. And this time I will remember to use HK.
Sure.
Good. And, oh, there's another one.
What can I do?
Acknowledgement!
Yes?
So let's see what's over here. To the Eastern Dune Sea. The Eastern Dune Sea continues to a barren horizon. Whoops. But there are signs that people pass this way. The occasional stone appears to be marking a path. But the logic of how they're placed is indecipherable to an outsider. So it appears that we can't go to the Eastern Dune Sea. Well, that's rather odd. But it looks like we have no other choice but to return back to Anchorhead and find these moisture evaporators from Zerka. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and just transit back. It's not really worth it to run through the desert anymore. And while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and change my party as well for this part of the game. I will take out Bastila and put in Mission. Who can level up?
Yeah?
Let's see, we'll give her all the usual stuff. You have been granted the following feats this level. Sneak Attack 5. Let's see what that's all about. Sneak Attack 5 adds 5 to 30 points of extra damage to attacks when the target can't respond to the attacker. The extra damage is applied to attacks made from behind the target, attacks against stunned or otherwise immobilized targets, and any attacks made while in stealth mode. And we've already read the rest of that. The sneak attack only works if the target is within 10 meters. The extra damage is not multiplied in the case of a critical hit. That is an upgrade from 4 to 24 points of extra damage. Hoping we can upgrade her again. But it's just another round of skill points. Looks like that's all for now.
Sure.
So let's go to that Zerka office. You got anything to say there, Ronto? Yep, I totally agree. While we're here, we can also redeem the gaffy sticks we've collected so far for credits as well.
Greetings again from the offices of Zerka Corporation. Is this about bounties or something else?
First, we got the gaffy sticks.
I see that, but do you have the all-important Chieftain's gaffy? That was what you agreed to get for us.
Not yet.
Then I'll take those off your hands, but the real prize is still out there.
Well, we haven't talked to her since we've started thinking about this peaceful solution, so maybe we can convince her to join our side as well, though I highly doubt that's going to happen.
Yes, we're still waiting for you to return with the Sand People Chieftain's gaffy stick. I'll reward you well when you do. We don't have any new information on the subject. It's still possible that they have an enclave in the far south of the Dune Sea. And I would remind you that you did agree to do this task for Zerka Corporation. We expect completion in a timely manner.
I understand, but there may be another option, though.
I should remind you that you were not retained as a diplomatic representative. You are a hunter, and should go after your prey as we agreed. You are not authorized to do anything other than deliver what was promised. Do so, and don't talk of this foolishness again.
I may not be a diplomatic representative, but what I was hired to do was to stop the attacks. And I believe there are multiple ways to do that.
Farewell. Zerka Corporation welcomes your future inquiries.
We got 250 credits for that, so I believe that's 50 per gaffy stick, if I'm not mistaken. Well, she didn't have the moisture evaporators, so perhaps Greta Holda does. I'm not sure if I mentioned this when we first got to the swoop area, but I want to say that one of the things that this game originally planned to do was have swoop bike upgrades for you to buy, but that never saw the light of day, sadly. I may have mentioned it back when we first met this guy, because he may have said this introduction when we met him originally.
Baba Hassan-shan, no ba mulirati lai kuka. Chiwi aita ka tong chicha, agi inko tune chuna mulira.
I'm actually going to tell him. I love that. Let's see if we can lower that price.
Baba Hassan-shan, no ba mulirati.
You know, considering the fact that he doesn't really seem to like what Zerko's doing, I think that this might be an easy persuade, but let's see. Yes! Alright, that sounds good.
Baba Hassan-shan, no ba mulirati lai kuka, kakinja nawabagaon.
Somehow we'll be able to carry them. I'm not sure exactly how big they are, but I want to say that they're pretty sizable from what we saw in the Skywalker homestead in episode 4, but I may be remembering it wrong, though. We've got a journal entry for this now, which says, "You have purchased 2 moisture evaporators from the Zerka office. Take them to the Sand People Chieftain in the Enclave." Will do. Of course, while we're down there, hopefully we will find the missing Jawas for Aziz, as well as Griff. Might as well just go and turn on force speed anyway. We've seen all of this.
Oh, it's you again. I'll just let you pass. The boys in the office may need authorization in triplicate, but not me. Good hunting out there.
That's good. I don't like triplicate. Now, we didn't actually go through this side, so let's see what we can find here. We can get some stuff. I didn't mention anything about this before, but if you try going outside these Zerka markers that are set up over here, the game will actually let you. A vast expanse of desert stretches before you, with no markers or any indicators of life. It would be a death trap for anyone wandering aimlessly. Well, we don't actually intend to go over there, so no need to worry about it. What's this over here? We saw these guys earlier from a distance, but we didn't actually get up close. Desert raids. Uh-oh.
Asteroid efficiency at its best.
What? These guys are pretty powerful. But thankfully they're not too hard to dispatch, especially if you've got some good lightsaber upgrades. And we can now level up, which is good. More dexterity for attributes. Let's see, skill points. I will continue to upgrade repair. And powers, what should we get? Well, we can get heal now, which is certainly enticing, but I do want to go through all the options first. Let's see, I do plan to get Force Wave, as well as possibly throw lightsaber at some point. But I think I do want heal for now. Mainly because this will give us more, this will double our vitality points the base number of vitality points per use. And I think it's also a bigger radius. Oh no, actually it is the same radius. This power heals all party members in a 15-meter radius. Each party member gains 10 vitality points, plus 1 point for every charisma modifier, wisdom modifier, and level of the force user. Poisons are neutralized by this effect. This power does not affect droids. And that poison neutralizing is very useful, and that pretty much renders antidote kits obsolete. That is, unless you run out of force points. So I definitely would like that right now. Okay, we are good to go. We can also sell these raid plates to Faza in his lodge as well. So there's a couple more there, so let's go ahead and dispatch of them too. Come on, HK, let's use that awesome blaster.
What?
Take that! You'll pay!
Whew, we narrowly survived that. Okay. Looks like there's another pile, but it's nothing to get there. Is there remains I missed? I think it's possible. There is, and we got bantha fodder here. Yeah. I did get the corpses. There's more of them. I thought I got these guys. I guess I didn't. Yeah, these guys I took care of. Now, were those sand people or were those other people? I'm not exactly sure. Okay, so we got more articles of sand people clothing in case we need them. One rather funny thing about this is, if you get ambushed by sand people out in the deserts, and you can actually, if you... I don't know if it happens now that we're starting to make peace with the sand people, but if you wander around in the Dune Sea, not the sand people territory, but just the regular Dune Sea, and you haven't talked to the sand people yet, you will get ambushed by them, and you can get clothing and gaffy sticks that way as well. And if you start wearing them before you meet those 8 or so sand people guarding the entrance to the sand people territory, they won't recognize you, but if you get up close to them, one at a time, they'll start to try to attack you. Even through the layers of wrappings, you can tell the sand people warrior is disgusted by your presence among his people.
Extrapolation. This guard doesn't appear honored to have the job of greeting us.
Anyway, what I was getting at was that they will attack you only one at a time, so you have to get up close to every single one of them to actually have that happen, which is quite funny, actually, because the others don't even seem to notice what's going on. At this point, I believe if you don't have the moisture converters, and you try to go inside, then they will all try to kill you, so you don't want to do that.
Translation. Translation. He will take us before the Chieftain, as he was instructed to do.
Alright. If you can read anything of the Sand People Chieftain's emotions, it seems he is surprised that you have returned.
Translation. He did not expect us to return, Master. He wonders if we have brought the moisture evaporators.
We do.
Translation. Translation. He does not trust you, Master, but you have done more than any other outsider. They will not attack, and he grants you his Chieftain's Gaffy as reward. Translation. The attacks will be reduced, and he will allow you to explore this enclave, but be warned that any lack of respect will result in death.
Alright, we can choose to betray him at any point, but I'm not going to do that.
Protocol. If you truly want this sadly peaceful arrangement to continue, be careful of what you ask.
I love that HK-47, who is just dying to start killing everybody, is the droid that we have to use to arrange all this peace. Let's ask about the star map, though, because it seems like they might know about that.
Translation. Translation. He says that what you seek is far from here, in the eastern Dune Sea. He will give you a map so you can find your way. Translation. His people found it, but didn't scavenge it because a crate dragon took up residence in the excavation.
Well, that certainly explains why we couldn't go there before. Apparently we didn't have a map. But it looks like we're going to have to deal with a crate dragon, which is certainly not going to be easy.
Translation. Translation. Your ignorance isn't his concern. He claims there is a hunter that wanders the area sometimes and that you should ask him. Translation. The hunter is a Twi'lek. He will be in the eastern Dune Sea somewhere.
Well, that's good. Let's ask about the Jawas and Griff.
Clarification. We must be more specific, Master. They capture many organics. Translation. Translation. He says that the captive Jawas are slaves and that they have lived past their usefulness. You may take them if you wish. Translation. Translation. He says that by his very presence, this Griff defiles their home and land. He is without any semblance of usefulness to them.
Yep, that would be Griff.
Extrapolation. I would assume we are free to take him. It is doubtful they will even waste the effort to kill him. Perhaps we could do it, Master.
That may seem tempting, but I would definitely not like to do that for mission's sake, especially.
Protocol. We should not keep him long. It is an insult to take too much of his time. Unless the plan is to blast him when you are done, of course.
Thanks for the reminder, but we are not going to blast him.
Protocol. This will be a very sensitive topic, Master. You will want to be careful with your questions or risk offending him. Not that that is much of a worry. Translation. Translation. He says that he will not, Master. There is one storyteller in each clan, and only he may recite the histories.
Well, that would be interesting to learn about. I would like to hear about the story of the Sand People.
Translation. Translation. He says that you don't understand. They must never be told to someone who might say them incorrectly out of ignorance. Translation. To speak them in error is a blasphemy punishable by death. Only their greatest warriors are even permitted to listen to the tales.
That's pretty harsh.
Translation. Translation. He doesn't know, Master. His people usually kill outsiders. Since you are an outsider yourself, that would not suffice. Translation. The greatest challenge for a warrior is to face a great dragon, the largest predator on Tatooine. Fight one of those, and bring back a dragon pearl. Discussed. I think he's making fun of you, Master. He doesn't believe an outsider could do such a thing.
Well, it certainly sounds like we're going to have to do that if we're going to even get to the star map. So I'm not going to ask him where we can find it, because we have been told already. But what exactly is a dragon pearl?
Translation. Translation. Stones polished in the gullet of the beast. Apparently they are valuable items. Translation. Translation. He says that the fact that you have to ask, this is just one more example of your ignorance as an outsider, Master. He says you are blind. Translation: his people believe they are part of the land, living with it. You and your kind dare to raise yourself above it. You remove yourself. Translation: that act of removal makes you an outsider, separate from all that is important. You could never understand how unwelcome you are.
Well, that's why I want to hear this history. Maybe it will tell me more about how I can become more friendly with them.
Translation: Translation: he says that outsiders use machines to convey them and to make their lives easier. This severs a connection with the land. Translation: connection to the soil must be made through flesh. A sacred animal is the only external tool to be used.
This is an interesting point right here, why he wants these evaporators, since they're machines as well.
Translation: Translation: he says that the use of these blasphemous things will only be tolerated because outsider interference has forced it upon them. Translation: if your kind had not come here, he would not have to defend their ways or their land.
I guess that makes sense. This is also another interesting question, too.
Translation: Translation: he says that the robes are sacred, Master, and you would not understand. Sand people are never uncovered outside of the most private moments. Translation: Translation: never. That is their way, Master. Protocol: is that wise, Master? They may have assumed that the disguises you used were replicas instead of being taken off their dead.
That is a good point, and if we do this right here, I believe that he will start attacking us.
Translation: Translation: we are free to leave.
Alright. Well, let's see what we got here. Journal updates. There's quite a few things here. Worthy of history is a new quest we got. You have asked to hear the history of the Sand People, but the Chieftain has said that you must first prove your worth as a warrior. Bring him a dragon pearl and he will consider it. We got another update for fair trade, which is the Jawa one. The Sand People Chieftain has given you permission to release the Jawas they currently hold captive. Star Map Tatooine. The Sand People Chieftain claims there is something like the star map in the eastern Dune Sea, though it is in a cavern now housing a feared crate dragon. And Sand People. The Sand People Chieftain was surprised that you returned with evaporators. He will reduce the frequency of attacks against the Zerka and has given you his gaffy stick as a symbol of the agreement. Take the gaffy to the Zerka office in Anchorhead. Curiously enough, there isn't an update for Mission's brother, even though the Chieftain said that he is in the camp. But it looks like that's all we can talk to the Chieftain about right now, so we are free to explore the Enclave here and see what all is around. There's a female sand person here. We get the same message that we got before. And that will be the case for all of them. Looks like there are quite a few of them here, and we need to find Griff and the Jawas, but we'll do that in the next video.